Today is not going to be a specific part of a light box. I'm going to run down start to finish on a new project that hopefully I will be able to do this in a few parts. The very first one today is going to be just a normal making of a light box, and then I'm going to hopefully add more to it with the Bambu Maker's Supply. I ordered that the other day, and it comes with a lot of cool little gadgets and whatnot. So, without further ado, let's get into this first project. Let me switch to my PC screen. While you're here, please check out my website, which has a ton of multicolor 3D printing models, as well as how-to instructional videos, how to make them. I also take commissions. If you do not want to create your own model, don't have the time to do it, you could contact me and I will make them for you. Please support my work by subscribing, and I have a ton of models on the website for you to check out for free. Just scroll through them, find what you want, download the zip file, and hit print. Thanks. Here we are. Okay, so you know the drill on this. We're going to drag the old logo into here. I already have it saved, but just for example's sake, I'll show you how to do that again. Download, pause the video here. If you're watching it on YouTube, take a screenshot of these settings. If you want to throw this straight into Fusion and you want all the lines to be double clickable, this is going to be your main settings right here. If you want all these colors filled in, you're going to do fill shapes. But if you want this just all lines only, and you want them single lines and not double lines, use this one right here. Then you'll click download, obviously, and pull that into whatever folder you want. So, I already have that downloaded. Now we're going to go into Fusion. As usual, I have my template pre-made for these. I'm going to create a sketch and then import or insert the SVG. That is going to be my light boxes, brands, Polymaker horizontal. And that is the logo that I just showed you on Vectorizer AI. So this is the reason why I have two of these templates, so that I can get a better fit more quickly. So now I know if I have this turned on a 45-degree angle, this is as if I turned the bed on an angle. So now I can pull this in, make it fit. That's good right there. So I know I have a 10mm buffer all the way around, so that means that I'm good. You can see it's larger than the straight-on bed. But I know it'll fit because I just tried it in my other diagonal bed. So I'm going to get this about as centered up as I can with my eyeball. Okay, now I can hide these the template sketches. Double click that outside line, delete it, don't need it, don't need it. Well, actually, let me bring that back because I'm gonna delete it so that, because you might not have that perfectly outlined. Okay, so what I am gonna do now, select the entire sketch, right click, fix unfix. That makes any of these lines editable. If they're green lines, that means they're permanent, stuck in place. You can't move them, do anything with them other than your offsets and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is actually move this logo up so that the bottom of it is flush with this. That way I don't have to put a stand underneath this thing to hold it up. So since I did the fix unfix, I can actually move this part. So I'm going to select it and hit M for move. Drag it up a little bit. So this is just eyeballing it at this point because I can't tell exactly where that is. So what I'm going to do is draw a rectangle and drag that up to the bottom of the P. You can just keep zooming in and zooming in as far as you need on that, but okay. So now what I'm going to do, well, I'm going to drag that line is what I'm going to do, obviously. Okay, I'm going to move this back down just a hair. -1, let's go -1.1. 5, 4, that's good right there. Lovely. Now what I'm going to do is drag all of these in. You know what? I don't want to make a rectangle light box on this one. I want to make this more organic shaped. So I'm going to delete that. Because this is going to turn into a probably multiple video project. So what I'm going to do is go -7.5. I know this will fit because it fit. Remember I said I had a 10mm buffer all the way around, so 7.5, I still have a little bit of wiggle room on the outsides. So I'm gonna go 7.5, enter, offset, 7.5, enter, 7.5. On this one, I'm only gonna get the tallest and shortest, the tallest letters on both sides, and then go straight across. Offset 7.5. Okay, well, it's not wanting to go 7.5, so we're gonna have to do a workaround on this one. We're gonna go 5, 6. Okay, it doesn't want to do 7, so we'll go 6, enter. Delete this offset symbol, hit offset again. Then we're gonna go 1.5. And there you have a 7.5 offset because Fusion loves me sometimes. Offset 7.5. Let's just see what we're working with on these tall ones. All right. So what I'm going to do is come over here and get the lowest point. Drag it all the way across. An easy way to locate it is just touch one of these dots. You can just pull it down until it snaps at 0 degrees. And there you go. Hit escape. So now I can draw another line. I know that this is the tallest point right here. And drag it all the way across to that offset line. I'm going to delete this just to get it out of the way because that's not what I want. I want to still connect it to that line. So I'm going to come all the way over here. Remember, touching any dots, it will automatically snap to that. You see, I haven't touched it. I've touched something else since then, so now it's not snapping to this white dot. Touch the white dot again, bring it up. Snaps right into place. Snaps right into place. Lovely. Okay, don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need it. Don't need it. Don't need it. Looking good. Now I can trim off this excess. Trim. We probably want to smooth this out. That way it's a complete circle. So what we can do is trim that, trim that. I'm just double clicking these excess lines for it to highlight the entire thing. So what I can do now is delete that. I'm going to draw a 3-point arc here. And you see it's already snapping that radius because it's already got the good circle radius right there. So that's looking beautiful. All right, lovely. Much better. So I don't want these to be square corners, so we can go ahead and fillet these. I have my shortcuts set all right here. That's why I just keep hitting S because I have my shortcuts created rather than coming up here and clicking fillet. how you can add more to your shortcuts. Just come up here, click the 3 dots, pin to shortcuts, and now anytime you hit S, your shortcuts are right here. So fill it. Let's see, how do we want, how big do we want that? Maybe 5, maybe 7.5. Let's do 7.5 so that we can go great with the offset. We'll go, so you can either click both of the lines individually, or you can just hover over the corner, click it, 7.5. And then since we already have 7.5 selected, now you can just click this corner and it does the same, 7.5. 7.5 actually might look a little small. Let's try 15. It looks a lot better. Let's do 15 millimeters. That way it's a good rounded edge, rounded corner, I should say. Okay, beautiful. Now we'll make our walls 2.5. Let's do one more wall. So that'll be 5 millimeters. Make sure it's not interfering with anything. Everything looks great. Okay, this will be the overall shape of our project. Finish sketch. And you see, since I moved up the Polymaker logo, I now have a flat line all the way across. Now I don't have to create a stand, a wonky looking stand to make it fit this. That's with the whole fix unfix thing that I explained earlier. Because if this logo was straight imported SVG in the green lines, it would not allow me to move these. Okay, so now what we can do, make our light box real quick. We'll go start, offset, -40. You don't have to turn your sketch at an angle, but I like turning mine at an angle so that I can verify that it is offsetting everything and everything is working as intended. We're gonna go 2 millimeters, new component. Back plate. Hit A for appearance because I want all my default colors to be black. I'm gonna replace that default gray. So now then, turn that sketch back on. Extrude this 5 millimeters, but I want to start it at the object right here. It's going to join. Lovely. All right, so now we can hide this sketch, turn it back front. So now we have the back plate. What the heck? It has an anchor on it. Okay, we can have the back plate. I'm going to go ahead and save this mesh without the holes in it. Back plate, no hole. Save that in my STL folder. Okay, I'm going to click on the front of this back plate, create sketch. Then I'm going to import my keyhole that I have pre-made. If you've watched my videos before, you can see that I've done this a couple of times. Same. I'm actually not going to put this in the center because if I hung this on the wall, that is a super wide and short logo and it's going to be super, super wonky, wanting to fall over to each side. So I'm going to drop that right there. And then I'm actually going to make another one. So I'm going to double click that to select the entire thing. And then I'm going to hit M for move. But before I move it over, you see it's dragging the whole thing. What you can do is go create copy. And now I have a second. Okay, and now I have 2. So now I can hang this straight on the wall much easier. And it's not gonna fall to either side. Finish sketch. I'm gonna click on this, hit extrude, -5. I did -5. This is only 2 millimeters thick. I do -5 just to make sure it goes all the way through. It's just a habit at this point to do it like that. So now I'm going to resave this. Back plate, save. Oops, I did that incorrect. So I'll show you what I did incorrect. So save as mesh. Okay, I brought that DXF in from this folder. So I need to reset my folder. See, back plate is in the wrong place. So you got to go back to your folder. Brands, Polymaker horizontal, STLs, save it, save it. Now it is saved in the correct place. You got to look out for that, because it'll default to whatever you did, whatever folder you were in last, importing or exporting, that's the folder it's going to default to. Okay, so now I no longer need the back plate. Let's go ahead and make the front. Extrude. -38 as usual. New component. This is going to be a slightly different project in the future. So the way I'm going to go ahead and future-proof this, I'm just going to name this box. Rather than combining all these different parts together, I'm going to go ahead and start separating them right now. So this is going to be box. Now I can do Polymaker. I'm not going to do the logo yet because, like I said, I'm going to try to future-proof this a little bit and give myself some more leverage to play with different bodies and stuff later on. So we're going to go new component, -1 as usual. We're going to name this, let's just name it Polymaker. I'm going to hit A for appearance. Let's just drag that color on there. I'm actually going to come over here to my Polymaker logo. I have a shortcut on my Stream Deck to copy the hex code, which is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to edit this material, click it, double click, and paste that hex code right here. So now it is the true official hex code for Polymaker. That way I can color match that on the fly. Okay, so now I can do this. We'll go new component, -1, new component. We'll call this logo. Same color. Close. Okay, so now here's where we can start getting a little more. I can do this white. You know what? Let's do that. Let's go extrude this. We're going to go new component, -1. Okay, all of this is going to be our white. I'm just hitting A for this appearance to come back up over and over again. I have a force of habit to, as soon as I make a new component, my pinky defaults to click A every time. So now that we have our white component and then we have this gap, we're actually going to make this gap the blue color. That way it has a little outline all the way around. New component, -1. We're going to call that blue. Well, let's teal actually, because that is Polymaker teal. We'll hit A for appearance, drag that back over again. Okay, so now we have a light box ready to go, other than the USB cord hole. We can do that. Let's see. Where do we want? Let's go click this line, hold shift, click this line, and we're going to go plane through 2 edges. Okay. Click that plane, create sketch, tilt it, hit P for project. We're going to draw a line. If I drew this line right here and connected it, it's going to be locked to that dot. But if I want to move it, I don't want it constrained to that. So I'm just going to put it beside it. We're going to go 14, center rectangle. Oops, didn't click the dot. I do want it locked to this dot. So we're going to go 16 by 8, finish sketch, extrude. I'm going to punch the hole through here, cut it. So if I made that rectangle too far down or too far up, the reason why I was saying I don't want it locked to that line right here, that dot, because now all I got to do is drag this, see, and it moves the hole. So now I can move it all up and down this line wherever I want. But if I had connected it to that dot, it's going to constrain it to that dot. Then you can't move that hole. So if I want to look at it from the front, that looks like a pretty good location for a hole. And it's not going to be in the way. If I had it too low, then the cord is not going to be able to come out of here without lifting it up. Pretty good location for the cord. So now we have the light box ready to go. Oops. So on my next project, I'm not sure if I'm going to stream this part, the next part of this project or not, because I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I'll play with it off stream, and then depending on how well it goes, we'll see how it goes as far as my next. What I want to do, spoiler alert, make this logo pop out just a little bit, and it's going to rotate clockwise. So I want to make this spin. While everything is lit up like a normal light box, we're going to have a spinner light box. So I'm going to put a motor on the inside of this and just make this spin in a circle. That way I can have it on the shelf or in the background, plugged up, lit up, spinning, doing its sweet little thing, which is also why I made the bottom flat, so that I can just sit it on a shelf rather than needing a stand or anything like that. So that's the goal of this. So what we're going to do now is save all these bodies, save as mesh, box, make sure it's in the right folder. Save, oops, wrong button. Save as mesh, enter, enter, save as mesh. We'll do this over and over. And if you haven't watched my other how-to videos, I'll show you real quick how to set up the Bambu Studio file. I don't have a stand, so I'm going to delete this. Let me show my full screen. So I'm going to come over here to the STLs folder, and I'm going to grab all those except for the back plates. I don't need the back plates because they're not going to print with the back plates. Load these as a single object, multiple parts. Yes. See, it's too big, but we can rotate it like I showed you with my template infusion. Come to the Objects tab. Please do not, absolutely do not paint with this paint bucket. I couldn't even count them on one or two hands how many people have asked me in the last week why they're getting defects in their slices. It's because they're painting the light boxes. Do not paint your light boxes, please. There are other people, one person in particular that is teaching people to paint these light boxes, and it is becoming a nightmare for me. So do not make your models correctly. If you're going to be making them in Fusion, just make them right the first time, and you never have to deal with this in the future. It's a lot less work. So we're going to go ahead and color this right here. This is how you paint your bodies. Click Objects and find your bodies right here. Assign them whatever color they need to be. The logo is going to be 5, 5, 5, and there you go. It's that quick. If you were to paint this, you have to click it, click the paint button, select your deal. It's a lot more work to paint it as well, as well as it's going to create defects in your print. You're going to get black squares and rectangles all over the place. It's going to be a nightmare to deal with. Then you're going to be asking me or somebody else, why am I getting these black defects in my slice? So, rant over. We'll go ahead and rotate this 45 degrees like I showed you in Fusion. Drag it. I may have actually put, you know what, that might not fit. Yeah, we might be able to squeeze it because I actually moved this logo after sizing it appropriately for that deal. So I may need to, you know what, that's another lesson right now that we can run through real quick. Scaling. I made this too big, so I'll show you how to do this real quick. Fix your sketch scaling. If you accidentally make your thing too large, rather than scaling it in the slicer, simple scale, we'll go edit sketch, select the entire sketch, modify, sketch scale, select the point that you want to scale it to, which mine is in a dead center. We're going to go 0.97 because that's about how much I want to shrink it right there. If you want to calculate this out and get the exact measurements, then you can figure out your exact scale factor, what percentage you want to scale it down to. I'll go 0.97, okay, finish sketch. This is a lovely thing about Fusion. It resized and scaled, see sketch 2 right here. It re-performed all those steps that I did all the way from that sketch, all the way through the bottom timeline down here. Okay, so now all we have to do is re-export all of these files. So box, just to make this a little easier, instead of overwriting everything, I'm going to delete all the STLs and then go back through them and save them again. Save as mesh, enter, enter. Just run back through these real quick. I don't think I've made a video on rescaling things, so that's not bad that we ran into that. Okay, the back plate, I saved it with the holes, so I'll show you another trick on that. Rotate it, click the hole. You can see down here on a timeline where that extrude was. Right click, we're going to suppress it. So now there's no holes. Right click, save as mesh, okay. No hole, save. Now I can come back to this, it's grayed out, and then unsuppress. And now we have the holes back. Now we can save this again. Lovely. Now, an even cooler thing, since I have all of these saved the exact same names and I imported them from the same folder, watch this. You can right click, reload from disk, boom. Scaled down because it reloaded all of these exact files back from where you imported them. So now we can bring this. Looks like I scaled it pretty dang good. We got just a little bit of wiggle room on both sides. So I'm going to bring the back plates in. I'm going to put this. Rotate it 45. Put the back plate with no hole. I'll probably use the one with no hole because it'll be sitting on a shelf and I don't want light to be splashing on the back wall. So we'll do that. Oops. Let's get that in there. So brief interruption, if you could go to Shurdle.com/links and purchase any of your items such as Bambu Lab printers, filament, LED string lights you might use for the light boxes, Polymaker filament, my affiliate link here, Vectorizer AI. It is no longer free. You can use this to use my affiliate link. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.